Showtime!
Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your seats.
Showtime!
Please make your way to your seats. The show is about to begin.
Showtime!
Let the magic begin.
This wearable gaming glove for physical therapy.
Yeah, so it's a wearable device developed by Anthropic to help with physical therapy and rehabilitation at home through gamification. Gamification is everywhere nowadays. It's even in Duolingo. Gamification, for those that don't know, is just like you've got a scoreboard or a leaderboard and you're getting all these points, and it's essentially meaningless points. Like you can't use them to buy anything, but it kind of to help to incentivize you to keep going, which is it honestly works great. I'm not going to say anything bad about it. So the way this device works is it uses computer vision and AI to track the hand and finger motion without any sensors or gloves, and it's based on video input from a smartphone camera. So by tracking the range of motion, speed, accuracy, and other metrics, it can turn individual exercises into competitive games to motivate progress and help patients stick to their therapy regimes. By tracking the subtle motion improvements over time, it can dynamically adjust the game as skills progress and continuously challenge patients. So it can I would say it's great to augment with like regular physical therapy. I don't think this is at the point where it's going to replace it, but it's really good. So you need, so I guess some of the games that were presented were turning finger tapping or pinching motions into literal games like catching fish or crushing obstacles. And your performance impacts the game, which is kind of cool. So what they're planning to do is it aims to make physical therapy engagement more accessible and enjoyable outside of the PT sessions and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully allowing it to incorporate it into their daily life and hopefully speed up recovery, if that makes sense. So really interesting to see. The cool thing I like about this is the software. It's going to be available as an SDK for clinics and therapists for them to be able to design their own customized gamified routines tailored for individual patients and recovery goals. So really interesting to see that they're going to allow that kind of stuff, which is great because everyone's different. So
yeah, I really like the concept. I've worked with a few startups who were doing physical therapy devices, and we talk about what was the Power Glove. Every once in a while it comes up, where did that go? But the concept of putting this interface into either games or everyday computing, like if you can just use it to surf the web or even do work, then your physical therapy becomes part of your daily journey rather than something else you have to do on top of it. And that will really much increase the odds of you doing your physical therapy. Plus, something like this could easily report back to your physiotherapist to know how you're doing, if you are doing it and not doing it, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like I see my grandfather, he has to do his exercises every day. I don't know if he'd be interested in gamifying, but like anyone who'd have to do exercises every day, if you've got a game that you have to play and you're on a certain level, and the more you play it, the higher the levels you get. I certainly would be. It would make me do my daily exercises if I had to do them more often. And as you're showing the video, it definitely looks like a stripped down version of a Power Glove, the Nintendo Power Glove, which is kind of cool with lights and stuff like that. So, and the type of motion that you're doing with it looks like it's Power Glove technology, to be honest, because I used to have one, and the way you move your hand, and it's just like how the Power Glove would interact with the Nintendo. So
yeah, it's very interesting. And this is the video off their website showing people using different parts of their hands and trying to get back. It's really interesting device. It looks like a Power Glove. It detects movement. I think this is interesting in so many ways. From example, a new interface as well as therapy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because we go ahead.
No, go ahead.
We talk about different interfaces all the time, and I'm always looking for something different because I don't like my specific mouse, and I'll get over that when I eventually get off my butt and buy a new one. But we've been stuck with this for how many years, and now we've got a touch interface, which is interesting. But when are we going to get the Minority Report interface?
Yeah. Well, we kind of had that with the Xbox Kinect. It wasn't the best, but with the Kinect camera and the technology and the data that came out of that is being used a lot in a lot of different things nowadays. I still think there's a use case for the Xbox Kinect. That was my favorite. Those are some of my favorite games. They got you in, like they would track all of your movements. You could do things. You could pinch. You could push forward and different things like that. So I don't think we're too far off. Of the Minority Report type interface. I know actually he was wearing a glove, wasn't he, to interface with it at the time too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So you merge those two technologies, the Kinect and this technology together, you've pretty much got your Minority Report. So
yeah, you need the other thing you'll need is the glasses.
Yeah. For the AR, the augmented reality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, we already have those, right? And all we need is an interface now to be able and a UI that can utilize that. So I would say we're 5 years away from that.
I think it's going to be longer because you look, we already have those, like you say, those glasses, but the best ones I've seen so far are the Apple ones, and they're just starting to come out, and we'll have to see what they're like. Yes. But they're big and bulky. They've got the fake digital eyes in the front. Like there's a whole, like if you're by yourself all the time, great. But this is a alienation device if you live with people.
Yeah, for sure.
We have to kind of, I'm against continuously removing ourselves from reality. I think we're losing stuff there. But back to this, what kind of treatments are they aiming for? Like I saw stroke somewhere. Is there other type of, is this for carpal tunnel? Is this just getting things back? What can we use? What can we treat with something like this?
Yeah. So I think it's honestly unlimited at this point, but there were, I think they're really looking to target people with kind of upper limb things at this point, obviously, because it's a hand-based thing, but I'm not too sure exactly, other than people with carpal tunnel, people with maybe tennis elbow, people with again, I'm not a doctor, so I wouldn't know what kind of ailments this could be used with, but there's anything that you're using physical therapy. If you've been in an accident and you need to get some hand movement back, there's one where it really, I can't remember the name of the disease, but it makes your hand kind of cramp up, and I think that could be used for this too, but it would have to be used in conjunction with other kind of devices as well that would help to stretch out your hand. But there's tons of use cases for this. Absolutely.
Yeah, and they talk about the tactile feedback and how realistic it is because it can simulate various textures, allowing an immersive experience, which is interesting for gaming. Like we were talking about this for physical therapy, and then we switched to gaming just from an interesting point of view. I'm very curious as to, and as you can see, these are some of the applications from a therapy play. They're trying to get you to move your hand in certain rhythmic form of control, which is like what, Rockstar? The one on the left looks like Rock Band or whatnot, or
or what was
these
that?
Go ahead.
That old video game that they had with where you had to collect the blocks. Was it called Blocks? I can't remember, but
there was a game called Blocks, but I don't remember specifically like if that was the game. But see, there you go. And you're obviously trying to, you play these games for a few minutes a day, and that's your physical therapy.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I like where we're headed. I like this as an interface. I like it as a therapeutic device. I love the haptic feedback. Did they mention, battery life or anything?
Not that I saw, no. But I'm guessing the battery life could be long, depending on the size of the battery, because it doesn't seem like there's too much power drain, except for maybe the LEDs, which don't drain that much power anyway. But the sensors could, depending on what sensors they're using. But I'm sure that they'll get more efficient. But no, I don't know what the battery life is on something like this.
Well, this is interesting. I just noticed this and brought it up here. Like, imagine using something like this to learn how to play the piano, where the thing's going to vibrate you on your finger to tell you which finger to use as you go.
Yeah, I saw that, and I don't. It's going to be hard because then they would have to track the position of your hand as well, and I think it can do that, but it'd have to be pretty accurate for those keys, right?
Well, I think you'd have a starting position and whatnot, but yeah, the concept is to work on the patterns, right? And if it from a therapy point of view, that's great, but also from a learning point of view, it might have that haptic feedback. Might be some things that people an additional feedback that allows you to memorize it quicker, the motions and the movement.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting device. For me, I don't know. I don't know what the additional use cases are going to be. Obviously, you could use this for interfacing with a video game for sure, with an Xbox or something. Absolutely. I know Xbox was a big proponent in putting together an accessible controller. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's really cool. But this could be the next step to that.
It looks a little kludgy right now when we see people using it in some of the videos we have been seeing and had up here. So it's not quite as responsive as we'd like. And you can pre-order these. I think they're about $400.
Yeah, I
we
think
had the ad up earlier.
Yeah.
$350. You can secure one. Enjoy 12% off the original savings of $400. Yeah. Pay the remaining. So if you buy now and pay $50 up front, you only have $350 left.
That's not bad. Like that price point would be for the actual physical therapy clinics and things like that. So that's not a bad price point for them.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if this gets adopted, if this gets proven from a technology point of view. When I say adopted, does this get supported by governments under Medicare or other plans, so people will get this covered as a physical therapy option on their employment benefits? That's when you start seeing this actually do the uptake. Until then, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they'll have to. I honestly think they'll have to improve the accuracy, like you said, of the sensors and things like that. But it's a great proof of concept. Well, it's more than a proof of concept, but it's a great initial product.
And we've seen the motion capture suits in Hollywood, and everything starts coming along. This kind of technology is going to be it is really cool. And you talked about the Kinect games. Some of them were your favorite. The problem is the interface just wasn't good enough. You'd push, but not every time it would catch your push, and this and that. Not at the time, and not. So it has to be better. That's why people like professional gamers use wired controllers, not wireless controllers, because apparently that fraction of a millisecond makes a difference to them. Not, I'm not to me, but so it has to be better. But I love where we're going from a physical therapy point of view, because this is, as soon as you can now, it won't be long, you can put resistance on those things too.
For sure.
Haptic feedback to make you move.
Yeah. That's going to be a huge game changer is implementing some sort of not feedback, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, resistance. So that you can either, whether it's built into the glove at a 5 pound, 2 pound, whatever resistance level for you to make the movements or whatever, or if it's electronically controlled, because now you have resistance when you're moving your fingers, so you can take your physical therapy up on it. Like it's like squeezing a tennis ball potentially, or moving your fingers with resistance versus non-resistance.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. And if you want to take this stuff to the next level, combination of haptic feedback, electronically controlled resistance, and electronic muscle stimulation, you've got a potential muscle generating device that all the workout or non-workout fans will like, depending on how you look at it.
For sure. Yeah. No, there's tons of potential for this thing. I think it's a great starting point for sure. But we're gonna have to be cautious. There's a bunch of things we're gonna have to be cautious of, is any kind of biases or as far as bias-free accuracy and different things like that. Because if it's tracking, depending on the skin color too, I don't know if it's just tracking the sensors, but it's tracking the skin as well. So we have to be cautious of that and see. But yeah,
obviously it's got to work, and it's got to work on an old man and a little kid and a pregnant woman and different ethnicities. If we all have slightly different biological ranges or whatnot, I don't know. But yeah, it's got to work. It can't just be work on.
on one. Yeah, exactly.
What do you got going on, John?
Yeah, just we've got. I'm excited to do some more podcasts with you, specifically on government funding. So those are going to be coming up. Watch out for those. I'm excited for that. Right now, just it's the new year, helping companies secure that CDAP funding or any kind of shred funding or different things like that. That's a primary focus for right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Startup Drinks TO next week, January 25th, is our Startup Investor Drinks in Toronto. We do these monthly. Come on down. Just grab your tickets at Startup Drinks TO. It's open bar, open pitch. Just sign up to pitch when you get there. It's a great time. Yeah. If you're looking for funding experts, investors, ecosystem experts, founders, come on out. It's a great time. If you want to work with me, go to startupcoach.ca. There's a bunch of options there. Click for a discovery call, and we can have a quick chat about where you are in your business and how I might help you grow or get unstuck. Upcoming in February 14th, actually Valentine's Day, we have a co-founder matchup event. We have Siavash Shakarian coming in, going to be talking about like the co-founder prenup at the beginning, and we're going to have a few games and a few experiences to get co-founders hopefully matched up with like-minded people to take their projects forward. Go to mentoringmagic.ca for that. Find out the rest at torontostarts.com, where you can find out all these podcasts. I think that's about it. I'm sure there's more. There's always more stuff.
Oh, the one thing I want to talk about, Startup Drinks is a great event. If you can't make it this month and which is January, and you can make it in February, please do. Everyone's super friendly. It's very welcoming. I know it can be intimidating going to these, but this is very not intimidating at all. Everyone's super friendly, laid back, and there's people from all gambits of the startup world, from big companies, like you've got some big four people coming that go, you've got investors, you've got people who just have an idea. And if you just have an idea and you want to pitch it out, you get 20 seconds. So highly recommend it to go. And you can get some anyways. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. There's Will Greenblatt's going to be there. He's the best pitch coach in the city. So if you want feedback on your pitch, I think he's giving away one of his books. He's going to judge the pitches and pick a winner. You are going to be there talking about funding, but anybody who wants to know anything about funding. We have other mentors there about risk. I'll be there. And if you want to know anything about the ecosystem, get connected, just come on out. It's a great event. And it's like $25, open bar, pizza, and all this stuff. It's the best value in town.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that's it, John. We'll see you next week.
Shout out to Ryan Smith for joining us this morning. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Ryan. Appreciate it. Hopefully you stuck through all of that. It was an interesting conversation. We'd love your feedback. And anything else anybody wants us to talk about, just let us know, as we're doing more and more of these every day. And these will be released on the Future Tech podcast as individuals. So you'll see one episode for Wearable exoskeleton, one episode for the gaming glove, one episode for holograms, coming out in a couple of weeks, because we record these a couple of weeks ahead of time. So thanks, everyone. I appreciate you being here on a Friday morning, and good luck with the rest of the week and weekend.
Wow, that was amazing.
That's all. Just like
See you later, alligator.